can you tell me your name and where you're from and how long you've lived here?
My name is Mildred Beatty. I've lived here all my life and been in Fentress County schools most of my adult life.
Most of your adult life? Okay, and when did you start elementary school?
Well, I think it was 52, really.
Okay.
1952. I started at York Elementary because that's a long story, but my daddy had went for training for plumbing electrician. We had to go to Washington State, so when I come back, our house was rented and they wouldn't get out, so we had to get one in town. And so then I went from there to a little one-room school named Bowden Elementary.
Bowden Elementary, okay. And then, was there a big difference between the elementary in town and the one-room schoolhouse?
Oh, was that big difference? I'm telling you, I could not hardly find my way around in York Elementary. Of course, I was just, very young, and the schoolhouse was one-room school. Our farm had give it to them, and so we just walked up the road, and there was the schoolhouse. So there it was. You brought water in for a cooler in for water, and all that kind of stuff. Built fire in the stoves, and yeah, there was a big difference.
Okay, and so you spent most of your childhood education at the one-room schoolhouse?
I did.
Okay, and did you have one teacher, or with a bunch of different grades in the
Yeah,
room?
we had a one-room school, and they was every grade, unless there's just somebody not there, for that particular grade. But one teacher had everything, so they had to really watch what they was doing to get everything in from 1 through 8th grade.
Okay, so like kindergarten through 8th grade were all in one room?
Well, we didn't have no kindergarten back then.
There wasn't a kindergarten.
No,
So first grade was when everyone started?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I had read online some in my research that sometimes school was affected by farming. Did that happen? Like, was it year round, or what was your schedule?
We got out in early spring, but it wasn't for the gardening and stuff. We just started in August, and then we got out, whenever it was, because we didn't have as much, like Christmas and stuff. We did not have no week off, we just had like maybe 2 days or something like that.
Okay.
And so it just added out. But no, we did not get off for to get crops in and stuff. No,
Okay.
not when I was there.
Not when you were there? Okay. And then what kind of supplies did you have while you were there at school? What was something that you usually used? Like just pencils and paper? Or?
Yeah, well, of course we had a stove, so we had to have a coal bucket. The reason I remember that so well, the teacher, I was going to the health department. He said, stop by the supply house and get a coal bucket and get a pipe for the stove and all this. And that's helping me to remember our supplies was that way.
Oh, no, you're fine.
And, we had boards, like blackboards, that was on the walls and stuff like that. But we didn't have, like, books from the library. When I went to school, they didn't bring them around like they did, in years ahead of me. I mean, after I come along. But we did not have them. I don't remember any teacher bringing them, but I remember Maxine Clark bringing pictures, like run off, in a thing like that, and to color. And I thought them was the prettiest things I ever seen, because I didn't have a lot of coloring books and crayons and stuff. And I loved those pictures when she brought them.
Oh, so did you have desks and things like that, or was it just like tables?
No, it was just this. It was like this one up here, and it had the back, and then this one set into it. Somebody sat in that seat, and I still have mine from when I was a little girl.
I do.
Because my daddy bought the schoolhouse when that school went to West Fentress.
Okay.
And I still have it.
Oh, that's a good memory to keep. Now, let's see, for like lunch and stuff like that, did you have to bring your own lunch?
Yeah, everybody brought their own lunch.
They brought your own lunch. What did they normally bring?
Oh, see, back then they brought biscuit and sausage and anything you had for breakfast or whatever. Yeah, they wasn't no big sandwiches and stuff like that. We just had whatever's at the house.
At the house?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what did people normally, like, what did students normally wear to school at that time? Did they just wear, like, work clothes and that sort
Yeah,
of thing?
yeah, they did. They did. There was no different clothes from there to there. There's just, you know, uh, just pants and shirt. And I don't remember wearing no dresses, but some of them did. If they wanted to, but
Okay.
I didn't. I wore pants.
Okay. And then did everyone that you lived around, did they get to go to school, or did they not have to go to school if they chose not to? How did that work?
No, no, everybody went to school because our school went dead for 1 year because we didn't have enough students. So we had to go and stay somewhere else in a community, and so to help their school. And then after that year, we got enough. I think it was 21 we had to have in a one-room school to keep it going. And then after that, we went back to the one-room school, and where we went to that other school, it was a one-room school too,
Mm-hmm.
but we just merged with them so that they could keep theirs, and then we got ours back, and that's the way it was. We just,
Did you have to like stay with somebody else's family during that time?
I did.
Oh.
And it was sad because I was like in third grade and I didn't want to do that. And but
Yeah.
I had my sister. My sister, when we went to Washington State to take training, she was in like the first grade, and when she went away, they didn't send her to school. So when we came back, we was in the same grade because it was 1 year, 1 month, and 1 day between our age. So I went all through school with my sister.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was probably nice to
Yeah,
get to
'cause
have
it's
that.
have your best friend take on with you.
Yeah. Um, okay, let's see. See what else I was going to think. So, where did the teachers normally come from? Were they local, or did
Yeah,
they were
local.
local? And were they did they have degrees or anything, or
Yeah,
they
they
did?
did. Now, at one time there, they had the, I guess it's when our school went dead, they had a lady that didn't complete her degree, but they know she wasn't going to stay very long, probably, you know. But most of them, all of them had a degree. All of them had a degree because, you know, yeah, when I think back, yeah, they did.
Okay. And then, do you think that education while you were in school, do you think that it was looked on as something that was very important, or just something that you just needed to do until you got a job?
Yeah, I think a lot of it was that, you know, just go because you need to learn to read or whatever. It wasn't that important like it is today
Mm-hmm.
because now my daddy graduated from high school and he's seen the importance. My mother only went to the seventh grade, but Daddy seen the importance of us all kids graduating from high school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we all graduated from high school, and he's seen that importance.
Okay. Was that something that a lot of people, a lot of maybe his friends felt too, or was that just something that he felt
It's
himself?
something he felt because most of our neighbors there did not go to high school. You know, they just was you know, they just wasn't in high school, wasn't because they had a long way to go to high school because it was like 3 or 4 miles from our house that he had to go every day. And I seen one of his grade cards and he took all hard courses.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it wasn't that important to them. It wasn't that important because the people that lived up there next door, they had like 8 or 9 kids, and I don't remember any of them but that one graduating, and she wanted to. She wanted to get it, you know, so she did.
Okay. So you said that it was far away and it was like 3 or 4 miles. In today's time, 3 or 4 miles isn't really that far. Was it
Yeah, but you had
difficult to
walk.
travel then?
Yeah, because you had to walk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you had to walk. So it was a long ways.
So I can,
Yeah.
so a lot of people maybe didn't want to go because they didn't want to make the journey.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like the jobs in the area made education important? Like what the students were going to do after they got out of school for work?
Well, when I got old enough till I graduated from high school, that was the thing that's considered
Mhm.
because at that when I was young, I didn't think nothing about it or anything. But when I went to high school, I knew I had to do something. By that time, they had a factory in,
Mm-hmm.
and they called it the shirt factory, and it's up there where the senior citizens and the library really, and so people went to work there. And then of course the chicken plant, processing plant was there, and people went to work there.
Okay. Let's see. What else do I know? In some of my research I've been doing, I've read some things about people saying that the information students were learning in school kind of contradicted what the students were going to face after school. Do you feel that's true? Like what they were learning in school maybe wasn't valid or necessary for what their life was going to be.
Uh, Probably the parents might have said that in front of them to make them feel like that because I remember it wasn't talked at my house, but algebra,
Mm-hmm.
I've heard so many parents say they're never going to use that. That's a waste of time and all that stuff. Well, they didn't know the meaning of algebra, or they wouldn't have said that because it just makes you think and do stuff like that. But at my house, it wasn't talked like that because Daddy did all that stuff, and he knowed. But yeah, the neighborhood did.
Okay.
They just thought a lot of it was unnecessary.
Okay. Okay. Did you and maybe as you got a little bit older, you might have noticed, older than like kindergarten, you might have noticed your peers. Did they have a negative mindset about school, or did they not?
No, no, they didn't. No, because most everybody that I was contacted with, they just wanted to go to high school and get through high school and then get a job,
Mm-hmm.
or get married or do something like that. But no, I didn't feel like that.
Okay. What kind of jobs did you normally get after high school here?
Yeah, well, see, that's what I say. My daddy was a county commissioner,
Mm-hmm.
and they brought in the shirt factory, and they brought in the processing plant, and I don't think anything else ever right at that time that when I was in high school, and a lot of people went there to work and the processing plant and stuff like that.
Okay. And then do you have any memories of some things that you did for fun when you were growing up?
Oh well, yeah, we did things like swim in the summertime and see, there wasn't a lot of transportation to go
Mm-hmm.
like they are now because my dad had a truck because he was a plumber electrician, but he never had a lot of time to take us to things. But like the county fair was big,
Mm-hmm.
really big, because I remember when we was in the 8th grade, our teacher took all of the bigger kids himself and took them to the fair, and
Aw.
yeah, that was good.
So, did you ever feel isolated here?
Well, no, I didn't. I didn't, because I didn't know the outside world was out there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, I just never felt like that. I guess after I went to Indianapolis. When I got married, I went to Indianapolis and worked at a Bell Telephone Company, which is called Western Electric. And that's when I guess I realized it's a big world out here, because that plant was a mile long.
Yeah. And then, what are you doing now? Like, what do you do for work now?
I work for the 4-year-old class at Pine Haven School,
Mhm.
and I love it, love it, love it.
Okay. And then, what are some differences that you see now in education versus when you might have been? Well, I mean, I guess first grade was the first year that you got to go. But what are some differences you see?
Listen, some of this stuff we're doing, these 4-year-olds, I believe I was in 3rd grade before I ever had all that. Now, it's truth. I believe
Yeah.
that I was in 3rd grade before I had that, all the adding together, 5 and 4 and all this stuff. Yeah, it was like 3rd grade,
Okay.
possibly 2nd, but I think 3rd, more or less. Yes, I see them pushing them really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
really.
do you feel like do you think that it's a good thing, or do you think that we should maybe go back to the olden?
Well,
way of
I wouldn't
things?
go back very, very far, but I think sometimes that they do push them a little hard,
Mhm.
especially the little 4-year-olds, but they have to if they're going to go on to the next grade. you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
I
next
see
grades.
the point. If they're going to go on to the next grade, they've got to learn this, and these poor children that's not sent to pre-K, they're still in fog. I've
Mhm.
seen them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, do you feel like the pre-K program is important?
Oh, I think it's very, very important. I told Randy Clark one time, I said, a lot of them's better off with us than they are at home.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I agree with you, Mildred. I said, well, they learn a lot, but I'll tell you something. When you think about the home situation they're in, they're better off with us.
Mhm.